Alrighty then, I got the bike in the workshop. I'm going to fit a new bracket for the Denalis. I'm not impressed with these D7 Denalis, to be totally honest. The reason for that is, yeah, they're really bright and all the rest of it, but the problem is, whereas with the D4s you've got dipped and main beam, yeah, like traditional, you know, the dip beam obviously is pointing down and the main beam is pointing up. Whereas on the D7s, it's just the beam is in the same place all the time. The only difference is the intensity. So when you're on dipped beam, you have them set at whatever you've got them set at, whether it be daytime or nighttime. And main beam, I guess most people have them on 100%. But the problem with that is, you're riding along at night, they're on at like 20%, whatever you've got them on. Because they're angled right, so that when you've got main beam on, you can obviously see where you're going quite far down the road, kind of thing. Everybody's flashing you. It's doing my head in. You're riding along, and every single car is just pissed off with you. So you just got to turn them off, or turn them right down, so that, you know, here's an idea. Let's put £1,000 set of lights on my bike, pretty much, and then turn the intensity right down so that they're useless. So I'm a little bit annoyed, because if I'd have known that the D7s didn't actually have a dipped and a main beam, I wouldn't have bought them. I'd have bought the D4s. Anyway, having said that, they're on the bike. I've found out after I fitted them that the bracket that came with them is actually the wrong bracket. So I've now got the correct bracket, which is here. I got this off Steve, a bike thing, nice guy. I did tell him I had a 1250 Adventure, but I guess he just sent me what he had at the time. I think that he was the first person in the country, I think, to get the new brackets. So as soon as he got the new brackets, he did send me one, so fair play to him. I'm going to be fitting rather a set of radiator guards. I only found out the other day that the HP Rally, the 1250 HP Rally, comes with radiator guards as standard, but this model, the TE exclusive, doesn't. I don't understand that, but there we go. I also bought the NEC, this Innovv K2 double camera setup, so I'm going to be putting that on the bike. And I bought a power hub as well, because I want to put power into the top box so that I can charge my drone and my GoPro batteries and stuff. The reason I'm putting a different bracket on, let's go back to that for a second, is because you can see how close the D7s actually sit, really close to the bodywork of the bike. Okay, this is the bracket that I had on my bike, which apparently is the 1200 Adventure, I think. So that's the bracket. So this is the new bracket. So I'll have a look at the instructions. That one's just saying how to take the bike apart. I think we've covered that. According to the instructions, it goes that way. So the front of the bike is there. So right, let's get this fitted then. That's the bracket on. Right, you can see now that the angle is straight down rather than going back over here and then down a little bit. Yeah, they don't look too bad. I got these at the bike show for 60 quid. On eBay they were advertised, I think 85, I think. But the guy done me a bit of a deal at the show, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so get these on now. That's the radiator grills fitted. and the Denali's are on the brackets. I'll get the plastics back on in a minute. I just want to route the wire in now for the Innovv, the camera setup, and then I'll put the plastics back on then. So I need to work out where I'm going to mount these two cameras. Okay, got the lights mounted on the new bracket, got the front and rear cameras mounted on the brackets in the positions that I think I'm pretty happy with. I thought I might have to move them around a little bit, but I'm pretty happy with it. The rear one, you might just try and lift that up slightly. But anyway, it's mainly all set up. There's quite a bit of faffing around last night. My mate come round, who's fitted this system on his 1200 Tiger, and he was saying that when you're trying to install the latest firmware onto the DVR, you can't do it on a bigger card than a, I can't remember, 32 gig maybe, might have been smaller than that, because we both bought 256 gig cards, but you can't update the firmware onto this with a card that big apparently. So he came down with his little SD card, micro SD card, with the latest firmware, which I believe was 6.1 on the end of the long number, and I had 5.7 on this. So we put his little memory, his little SD card in here, and oh Jesus, it wasn't having it. It just wasn't playing the game. So in the end I put the micro SD card in my PC here at work, reformatted the card, went on the Innovv website, downloaded the latest firmware. Well, once we'd done that, it was all relatively simple. It's just that we thought we were saving time by just putting the card in that he'd already used, but I got a feeling when he put it into his bike, his one of these, I think it transferred a bit of information or something, because there was some other files on there. Anyway, whatever. So we've done that now. I'm amazed at the under-seat storage on the GS, because there's nothing on the Tiger. There's loads. So anyway, so this is just going to sort of go under there somewhere. I haven't really worked out 100% yet. The converter, the DC converter, I've noticed on YouTube, I've had a look on YouTube, see what other people have done. They've put it here like that. I don't think that's a very good idea, because this has got cooling fins on it. It needs to get air around it, as far as I would think, so I'm not doing that. I'm gonna put it there like that. So that's that. I've routed the wire in. This, I'll move that a minute. The wiring comes through here for the front camera and the GPS. I'll show you where that is in a second. I've noticed people put them in the GPS thing in some weird places. No disrespect to anybody else, obviously everybody's doing their own thing here with all this sort of crap, but there's somebody's put one on there that he knows what he's doing, because he does all this stuff a lot, but I don't like that idea at all. Somebody else has put theirs in here, which I guess is okay. Some people have put them underneath the plastics on here. Anyway, what I've done, I've only taped it on there for a minute, and I'm going to move it up a bit higher, but I've got mine just under the TFT, and I know what everybody's going to say, oh, it's going to hit the steering thing. Well, it almost does, but I'm going to move it up in a minute. When I only stuck it there with some insulation tape just to see if it would get a signal, and it does. Doesn't seem to be a problem, so I'm going to move it up, stick it on there, so that'll be that okay. So yeah, the wires, just knocked a pair of pliers off my shelf. The wires come up here, so I've mounted my front camera on the Denali bracket. I was going to put it on one of the indicator things, but mounts, but then I thought it was going to get a lot of this in the shot, and there isn't anywhere really around the front here to mount it. I'm going to put a headlight guard on, so I didn't want it sort of anywhere around here. My mate on his Triumph has got his underneath the headlight right in the middle, but I didn't want it on the bounciness of the plastic, the beak. I didn't want it anywhere on there, so I'm not amazingly stoked with it being there like that, but yeah, it's alright. Anyway, so the wires come up there, up through the back of this, same with the Denali wiring, and then they come through here, go down there, probably can't see any of that, and then they come, hang on, they come down here and then down the frame down there basically. I'm not going to be able to see that, I don't think. And then underneath the tank, under this sort of, I don't know, material, carpet sort of protecting stuff, you just see the wire in there, along there, underneath the tank. You don't need to take the tank off, it's just loose so that you can just lift it up enough, get the wiring in that little track there, through here, under there, and then I've gone under here straight up to this, and from the rear camera it just goes under there, and then I've got to tidy this up a little bit yet. Basically it just runs along there, up here, and then there's like a little groove in the plastic down there, and you can just poke it through there. So that's that. I'm going to get on and wire up the little DC converter now, and then that's pretty much it. I can then get all the front of the bike back together and then adjust everything, tighten everything up. Everything's still a bit loose at the moment. I'm going to have a little whinge now, I think. I bought this Innovv Power Hub and Power Hub 2. Okay, now the reason I bought this was because I wanted some extra, I wanted power in the top box or wherever I was going to put it. I was toying with putting it in that little toolbox thing I got on the side. But anyway, I wanted some extra power so I could charge GoPro batteries, drone batteries, camera batteries, stuff like that. Now in my mind, I might be missing something here. Okay, right, you've got, I'll try and work this so that you can see it. You've got the main earth, no, right. You got the main earth, right, and the main live, which has got a big fuse on it. So that's the live and the earth. So that'll go straight to your battery on your bike, right? Then you've got the yellow, which is a switch live. So when the ignition's on. And then you've got one earth, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, hang on, I thought it was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 lives, all fused. But number one, look at all this crap, right? I thought it was going to be a tidy little job. Now in my mind, it's great having 5 lives to wire up to 5 different things, but you've got one earth. So that would mean, say you've got 2 things wired up through this and you've got 3 spares. So you've done a nice job, you've got connectors on, or well, I wouldn't have thought you'd solder the ends, but whatever you do, connectors on the end. So you've got 2 things all wired in, all the wiring's all tucked away nice and neat and tidy. Then you buy something else and you want that on this system. So then what you got to do, because you've already wired this one earth into the other 2 things, you've got to cut all the terminals off the things you've wired up and then put another terminal on the other new thing and add it to this original earth. Am I missing something here, or shouldn't there, wouldn't it be better if this was, you know, each one of these power sources had its own earth, so it was 5 twin cables coming out, yeah? So you'd have a power and an earth for each individual thing, not just one earth. I think that's a bit, I'm missing something maybe, but in my mind it just doesn't make it a tidy job. There isn't really any room on the bike. I didn't realise it was going to be such a nest, such a nest of stuff. I mean, in a car it would be okay, because you can just use the lives and get the earth to the you know, to the chassis, to the frame of a vehicle. But on a motorbike, you don't really want all this. So yeah, I don't think that's going on my bike. Okay, I'm going to alter this a little bit, because you've got that much wire before the fuse and then that much wire after the fuse, so I'm going to change that. I don't want it like that, so I'm going to go for about there, and then I'm going to put this end down by the battery, and then I'm going to join that back together there. Right, that's the battery part of it done. I've moved, the fuse was there, the inline fuse holder, it was there. I've moved it, so I wanted it nearer the battery, so that's down there. Connected that up, little blue lights on. I've just got to do this yellow one now to the switch live, which I was toying with either using the circuit I got on the CanSmart for a rear brake light, which I don't think I'm ever going to put one of them on, or I was going to wire it into the back light. I'll have to have a look how the back light comes out. I don't really want to be splicing into the original BMW loom, really. I don't really like the idea of that. I don't mind that on some of my other stuff, but I'm not really keen on that idea on a brand new bike with warranty and all that. I just worries me slightly in case something ever goes wrong and then they start getting all bent out of shape that you've fitted something like that. I'm sure a lot of you other guys have thought similar things, but anyway, so I'll see what I do about that in a sec. Okay, I've decided I'm going to get the switch live from the Denali CanSmart system. So if I plug my lead into the CanSmart, got it plugged in to the CanSmart to change that brake light setting. Not sure why that's going to pick that up. Probably not. Anyway, got it plugged into there to change the brake light circuit to a simple circuit. I've got the fuse set at 1 amp. So that should be that. To be totally truthful, I couldn't work out how to get the back light off, and I ain't got time to be pouncing around. It's Christmas Eve and I want to get out of here. Yeah, I was going to take the back light off and feed into the power for the tail light, but I wasn't sure how to do that right now. I ain't got time to mess about. Well, at last it's all fitted. It's taken me a lot longer than usual. I've had a few mates popping in and stuff. Got some things going on at the minute, so it's not an amazing time right now. But anyway, right, I've got this all in here. That's velcroed down to there. So I think that'll be alright. I haven't actually tried the front seat on it yet, but I'm sure that'll be fine. And then I got the, what's the name? Trigger wire, the yellow one, going up there, and then I've actually put the DVR just under this piece, so I velcroed it. There's a bit of velcro on there and it's just stuck in. Yeah, I did have it over here a bit more, but the spanner on the bottom of the seat, the extensive BMW toolkit, this spanner here was hitting on the top of it. It's amazing how little, well, there isn't any room, that's it. You've got no room anywhere under the seat. It's a bit crap really, to be honest, but there we go. So yeah, the wiring is pretty neat, I think. Just put that on actually, because I bought a drone bundle off Steve at a bike thing. There's the guy I got the Denali's off of. I bought a drone bundle with a Flymore kit, a Mavic 2 Pro and a tank bag. So this obviously is for the tank bag, a Givey tank bag. I'm not sure I'm actually going to use it for the drone now, because I'm so used to it being in the Flymore bag and it fits in the top box. If I had a lot of stuff to take with me and I needed that room in the ladies vanity box, yes, smallest top box I've ever seen, I think. Considering it's an adventure bike, you get a tiny little box, but anyway. So yeah, so I just put that on. Not even going to go into the bloody fuel thing again, but there you go, that works now. Look, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know about that. My key is in my pocket. You'll know what I'm on about if you've seen the other videos. Yeah, the only thing I've got to do now is, because I've left these slightly loose, I'm going to take it outside in the dark so I can get the Denali's in the position I want, and then I can adjust the camera to the angle that I want it. So yeah, it's not it's not a bad job, but it's not a 5-minute job fitting either the Denali's or the Innovv cameras. If I was just fitting the Innovv cameras and I was left alone, and it wouldn't have been too bad, I guess. But yeah, it's done now. So I'm going to line the lights up. It's Christmas Eve. I'm going to load my panniers up, a couple of hours sleep, and then I'm off. Right.